yesterday. Okay, so one more time, this is our plan. On your front cover, draw this just a rectangle with a line that goes through it. Then label it with H's and OH's and make sure that the size of the H and the OH are in or are drawn relative to their concentration. So take like a minute or two. It does. A rectangle does have three sides. And another one. All right, let me pause this video for a second. Let's see how you did here. So what letter should go here? H plus, big. And what should go down here? OH minus. Why is one written big and one small? Tell your partner.
One's more gooder, one's less gooder.
All right, the concentration is higher in one than the other. That is correct, because I'm going to make it more nerdy. Because an acid, this circle is not working. The pen. Because acids have a large amount of H plus and a small amount of OH minus. You have to know that. Yeah, you can, it would take a lot of processes, but those are the products of it. So yes, sugar could be a reactant. All right, what would we have here? Tell your partner actually, what do you have here? A small H plus, and then down here, a big OH minus. Because a base has a small amount of H plus and a huge amount of OH minus. Then in the middle, what do we have? Medium, sure. They just need to be the same size, right? This is neutral. Something that's neutral has equal amounts of H plus and OH minus. Okay, I didn't ask you to, but if we were to label pH, where would the low numbers be? The left or the right? The left. So 1 through 7 would be right through here. And then over here, 7 through 14. 7 would be this line. All right, because acids have a low pH, bases have a high pH. They don't go negative. They can get like 0.00 something, but they don't go negative. Wow, that's how good I am. I forgot to start your thing over there, didn't I? Sorry. All right, then last thing we would talk about here is what colors would the indicators be on this? Tell your partner while I get this going. Nice. Nice. You guys are killing it over here. I knew you were.
Remember when we did your presentation?
What presentation? Oh, I remember. I was here that day.
We all decided your wife looks like Phoebe Buffay when you guys met.
Okay. I know who that is. I know both names. Okay, I guess, I mean, they're both tall and blonde. I'll take it. Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay, I'll just call her Phoebes from now on, see how she likes. Um, there, when she was young, like in high school, she looked like, um, oh man, there's a old movie called Mask or The Mask with Jim Carrey. It's really stupid.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
But
That's not stupid. It's amazing.
okay, it's really amazing. But like her high school picture, she looks just like what's her face in that? Yeah, Cameron Diaz. Kind of hot. Don't even worry about it. All right. The lab group over there said that the warm colors were on the left, cold were on the right. Did we do okay on that? All right. Then my wife, not looks wise, but like she sings a lot. And there was an artist named Jewel, and she can sing just like Jewel. It was amazing. That was the moment when people are like, when did you know? I'm like, well, I'll tell you the very second. I was at her house. She started playing the guitar. I convinced her to do it. And you know, when like you're at church and they're going to do a musical number and it's 50-50. It's either going to be awful or fine, right? And you're always stressed. And I'm like, I kind of like this girl, but what if she's a terrible singer? Like I'm like, this could be awkward. And I tried to talk her into playing it. She was super humble about it. Then she starts singing. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, she's an incredible guitarist and singer. I believe it. Anyway, that was the very, very second in time where I knew I was whooped. I was no longer in control. All right. We good on this? Could you do this on an exam? Okay. Well, everyone but Blake, could you do it on an exam? Okay, good answer. All right, here we go. Math of pH, probably around page 8, 9, maybe 10. Let's hear them. Nope. It was ABBA because remember we had ABBA. I don't remember. But everyone's going to do really well on the first 4 questions on that exam. They're like, I don't remember, but it's ABBA. I know that much. Okay, here we go. Page 10. Page 10. It's okay. I need everyone to focus on page 10. It can be a tiny bit tricky, so stick with me today. Hopefully it'll be all right by the end. So we're going to talk about the math of pH. So it's how the actual numbers come to be. All right, so pH is defined as the negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration. Page 10. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay. Page 10. Now, you remember yesterday, Ethan's like, we're going to do logs. I sensed that you don't love logs. Is that accurate?
I like logs.
Okay. Potato logs from Riverside. I have a gift. All right. This is just pushing a button on your calculator. Yeah. If you're on your iPhone, you'll have to turn it sideways. Blake, don't touch random chemicals. Thank you. All right. So we literally, hey, just, I'm going to teach Blake. I need you to behave. Here we go. If you are asked for pH and you are given the concentration of this, which you are right here, you just literally type this in. On your calculator, you press the negative sign and then the log button. And then you type in whatever this says. So 1 times 10 to the negative 8. Let's type that in and see what we got. What's that? Yeah, there's a way to do it, I'm sure. You got infinity. Let's see, that's not really good. You should get 8. Let's see, I've never really used this for these. So let's see here. 8. Oh, I know what you're doing wrong. You're such a... I love you. I have told you many times. No, I've meant to. Remind me tomorrow. Blake, I love you when you're quiet. I mean, I actually enjoyed yesterday quite a bit. I don't know, that was weird, but all right, here we go. Here we go. This worked really well at AP. Are we ready? All right, so here we go. So my little friends, are we ready? Oh no, I'm getting notifications. Don't be stupid. Jared, don't do it. Okay, moving on. All right, so I would hit negative, the negative sign. Then I hit log. And then if you don't like typing in whatever, like 1 times 10 to the negative 8, you can put point, and then you hit the 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when you're about to say the exponent, press a 1. And there you go. So the pH is simply the negative log of the concentration of H plus. I knew it was coming. Didn't we know? We knew it was coming. Oh, okay. Well, let's visit about that. Can we just switch the exponent? Well, let's try that. So this answer is 8. So what if it was a pH equal to 4? Or sorry, what if it was a, oh, I just gave away all the answers. This is a, what if it was an H plus concentration equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 4? It would be 4. All right, now this is great, but we do have a problem. Chemistry is cool when it works and it's hard when it doesn't. If, and make sure that you know this if I give you the concentration and it's just 1 times 10 to something, well, the number, not the negative, because that gets taken care of right there by that negative, whatever the exponent is becomes the pH. All right, but if your H plus concentration is equal to anything besides a 1, like 1.8 times 10 to the negative 3, the pH is not just 3 anymore. So here we go. What if it's not just 1 times 10 to the something? Then we have to use the calculator. So what would the pH be of this? So we'll go ahead and type that in. All right, so here we go. I have negative log of 0.12. Oh, shoot, I hit that button with my elbow. 3, and then when I get to the 4, I'm gonna put a 2, 3 instead. And I got 3.68. Well, that's close to my address. That's creepy. You guys stalking me? What in the world? 3.68. Sorry, 3.638. my address.
Is there ever a chance, like an instance where you don't put the negative before the log?
No, we'll always use a negative because we would get a negative value if we didn't, and pH is always a positive. Okay, so if, and these are ifs, remember, if it's a 1, it's just the positive exponent. If it's something besides a 1, you got to type it in. You okay with that? Okay. Now, we got to go backwards in math too. That's when things get harder. Is this shaking bugging you? It's bugging me. Here, we'll look at my shins. Actually, I have an idea. We'll just watch Jared learn. My hype man. Okay. Okay, I'm uncomfortable now.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah.
There we go.
No. It's gonna be like really, yeah.
There we go. We got Bob. Okay, there's Bob. Now let's move on.
Hold on, I gotta focus.
Thank you, Jared. Okay, so what is the H plus? So this is a little tricky. This is just math, but if I ask for pH, I just type this in and I get the answer. It wasn't super hard. If I ask you for this, it's not that much harder either, but it's different math. All right, so if I give you that the pH is 3, and I ask you for what the H plus is, then I have to do algebra. Now, hey, don't you owe me. All right, kids incorrectly think very often that they just divide 3 by the negative log. They're just like, oh, I know how to do this. And it seems good, right? That's good math, but that's wrong. When we've been saying like 2 equals 1x, and you're like, oh, just divide both sides by the number and you're golden. Well, we were dividing, or sorry, we were multiplying here. So we do the inverse, which is divide over here. In math, when we have logs, we're not multiplying the log of H plus, we're finding the log of H plus. So we have to do its inverse. So it's not that awful. It's on your calculator. So the inverse log is equal to negative 3. Now, to solve for that, you just push the second button on your calculator and then hit log, and you'll notice it gives you 10 to the something, right? When you hit second log, it's just 10 raised 2. We'll then type in negative 3, and it will tell you your answer. 0.001, right? Right, Bob? Yes, we can. All right, now look right here. Yeah, he did. If you wrote this number in scientific notation, it would be 1 times 10 to the negative 3. No, wait a minute. What? I gotta sneeze. Follow my logic here for a second. I said if this is just 1, then my pH is just equal to that, right? All right, well, if my pH is equal to a whole number, that's just the negative exponent. It goes both ways. If my H plus, or sorry, if my pH is a whole number, then my H plus is just equal to that negative exponent. So if I had my H plus equal, sorry, I want my pH. If I had my pH equal to 8, my H plus would be equal to 1 times 10 to the what? negative 8. If I had my H plus equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 11th, what would my pH be? 11. Let's keep going just for alliteration, not whatever, that's not the right word, but whatever. Repetition is what I'm looking for. If my pH equals 7, what's my H plus? 1 times 10 to the negative 7. These will always relate whichever way I give it to you. Okay? You can always find one or the other. It's pretty simple. Now, this, yep. On the test, there'll be whole numbers. But we're still going to learn as if they're not. Okay, so what if it's not a whole number? Well, then you just use your calculator. If I want the H plus, I use the reverse of this reaction or equation, which says that your H plus concentration is equal to 10 raised to the negative pH. And that's because 10 raised to is the inverse law. So my H plus is equal to 10 raised to the negative 8.25. And then you can't just write this. That would be like writing an improper fraction. You have to hit enter, and then you find your answer. So once you've done that, you get something with the E, right? Most of you. 5.6, and then it says E negative 9. That means it's extended negative 9 decimal places. To us, it means it's times 10 to the negative 9. This would be the answer. If the pH was 8.25, your concentration would be 5.6 times 10 to the negative 9. I feel like some of you didn't like that. Am I reading your body language the right way? All right, well, let's practice some more. All right, and you don't have to do them, but at least watch them. All right, what is the H plus concentration if you have a pH of 13.1? So since this is not a whole number, if it was 13, the answer would be 1 times 10 to the negative 13. But it's 13.1, so I must type it in. So I take the second log, which is 10 raised to the value, right? And so it's H plus concentration is equal to the 10 raised to the negative pH. That didn't work very well. So I take 10 and raise it to negative 13.1. So I just type that in. This is what I got on my calculator. Good. All right. So this is a pain, but it's still doable. You will be given the equations on the exam. You don't have to have them memorized. But once again, as Ethan asked me, on the test, they're all going to be whole numbers. So you're like, oh, this is just 1 times 10 to the negative 13. All right. Let's look at the homework real quick and do some. Now, you can't do all of them. There's hardly any homework in this section. It's the very back page. It looks like this. Why is this so slow today? Okay. So let's look. What we can do very easily, we can go to here so far. Everything else might be a little tricky, but we'll learn it. But we could do the top 3 lines. Well, actually, there's one thing I have to talk about first. I'm an idiot. We'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, sorry, we need these 2 blanks, or we need this next 2 slides before we can actually do the homework. Okay, back to page 10. I apologize, you went to page 12. It says because H plus is always in equilibrium with water and inversely proportional to OH. As one goes up, one goes down. So if I know H plus, I can figure out OH minus. They are related to each other. Okay, then we can also have what we call the power of the hydroxide ion value, or POH. Now, this is a true thing. I don't use it a ton, but it's the exact same math. What's the only thing that switches? This is an OH instead of an H. So if it asks for POH, which it does not on the exam, but if it did, you just take the negative log of OH, because P in science always means a negative log. In AP, we learned 7 or 8 P things like pH, POH, PA, pKa, pKb, pKw, pKsp, and I think that's about it. So that's 5, I think. But it just means negative log of whatever comes next. So up here, number 3, what's the POH of a pH of 5? Okay, well, that's a little bit tricky. Let's go to this slide first. With some mathematical manipulation, this means that pH plus POH always equals 14. Always equals 14. So if I have pH and I know it equals 14, I can always find POH. Uh-oh, that was creepy. This is a good idea. Why did we have this yesterday for when Cullimore came in? Jared, remind me next time. We'll just zoom right in on that door. Well, what's Miller doing?
Hi, Miller.
Hey! What are you doing?
How's Karen?
Oh boy, he's trying to observe people do presentations. Maybe we shouldn't heckle him right now. We'll go back to Bob.
Oh, that's me.
That is you. Hair's looking great today. Oh, where's Bob? That's Jared's butt. That's awkward. Here we go. Okay, come back here. pH, POH always equals 14. So if pH plus POH always equals 14, and I know this is 5 plus something always equals 14, what would this number be? A 9. Pretty easy so far. Okay, now it's going to get real different though. It wants number 4. It says, what is the OH of a solution with a pH of 4? And once again, you don't have to get this right or on the test, but it's kind of interesting. If I know the pH of 4, then I know the POH is equal to what? Something plus 4 equals 14. So it's 10. Is this a whole number? Yeah, no decimals, which means then my OH is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative what? No, 10. Because pH is 4, that means POH is 10. And since this is a whole number, it just becomes the exponent that 10 is raised to. Now, that might have been mind-blowing. You don't have to do that on the exam. It's just showing you how everything is related to each other. Okay, so come to the homework for a minute, and we'll look through it together, so don't stress. All right, this top row, I'm just going to label them 1, 2, and 3, so we know what row we're talking about. On row number 1, all it gives you is that the H plus is 1 times 10 to the negative 5. Is this a 1? Yes. Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I hit Curtis's leg. Okay, since this is a 1, it tells me that pH is just simply what number? A 5. If this is a 1, This is always just the positive exponent. Okay, now, if pH is 5, what is pOH then? 9. Because these two numbers always add to what? 14. Now, check me here. Is 9 a whole number? Yeah. So if it's a whole number, that's the negative exponent that this is raised to. All right. The final column, acid, base, or neutral. Tell your partner what one that is. If you don't know, I'm going to be sad. It is an acid. How do we know it's an acid? Because pH is less than 7. Okay, now I love you guys. I respect you guys, and I can sense that you're still confused. So let's do the next line. If you could do these top 3 rows, you can do the exam. Light work eventually. Okay, so here we go. Let's come back to row number 2. Is this a 1? Yes. That means, but this is OH, right? So that means my POH is equal to what? No, that'll be my pH. It means my POH is 10. Okay, because I can't find my pH directly from this, but I can find my pH, which is what you guys did anyway. All right, if POH is a 10, then my pH must be a what? A 4, which you guys had already done anyway. All right, then if this is a whole number, then it tells me my exponent over here is 1 times 10 to the what? Negative 4. And then since this number is less than 7, this would be an acid. Okay, let's do the next row together. Is this a whole number? Yes, and it's pH, so it will tell me the H. If it's a whole number, I go to H, and it is 1 times 10 to the what? Negative 7. Oh, well, there you go. If this is a 7 for pH, 7 plus what equals 14? 7. So that's your POH is 7. So that means your exponent for OH is also negative 7. And what do we know if they're equal? It's neutral. Okay. Let's do one more. One more. I'll scribble this out. Scribble this out and put 1 times 10 to the negative 3 right here. See if you can do these other 3 blanks quick. All right. Hopefully you got 1 times 10 to the negative 11. Who had that? Raise your hands. Okay. And then hopefully you got an 11. Who had that? Raise your hands. And then hopefully you got this as a base. And we're off to the races. Okay. We'll learn how to calculate just in case you ever need that. But for now, that's it. That is as hard as the test gets on the math.
Sorry I was on so long.
It's okay.
Someone
I have an update for everybody. I changed my background picture. Yeah. Then I put a picture right over my eyes, apparently. That's creepy. And it's like blurry. We'll sharpen this up later, but you know. Chapter 5 flashcard Quizlet. I can probably get rid of that, don't you think?
Yeah.
That was decades ago.
It's Friday. Wow.
Oh, hey. Oh, am I still recording? I hate when I do that. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed me talking to people.